All right, welcome back, guys. This is going to be Jimmy. Today we're going to go over some slides. We're going to talk about pull-offs. We're going to talk about bends and vibrato. And we're also going to talk about tremolo picking. There's a couple of skills in this song. This song is short, but there is a lot of sliding in it. There's also some funny timing with the sliding and the pull-offs. So stick around. We're going to dive right into the first skill right here. And we're going to get into this video. So thanks for coming back, man. All right, so first we're going to talk about pull-offs. Pull-offs are essentially exactly what that sounds like. We're going to basically strike a note, and then we're going to pull off. The song literally starts with a pull-off. The way the song starts is... right? There's some sliding in there too, but what are pull-offs? Pull-offs are exactly when you strike the string, let it ring, and then you're using your finger to pull off of the string. That creates the next strike, so you don't have to use the pick again. So it is not lift-off, right? Lift-off would be... doesn't sound the same. Instead, what we're doing is we're plucking the open string with the string that we're fretting with. Right? Pull-offs, Adam Jones uses pull-offs on a lot of songs and a lot of solos. He does them really in a really distinct way that man, really stands out and catches your ear. There's a bunch of examples in different songs where he does it. Right? That's another song that he does that in. Jimmy uses a lot of pull-offs. The entire verse, intro is all done with pull-offs. So we're gonna have to get used to doing this. Like this. We're gonna go over the pattern of what the notes are later on here, but I just wanted to talk to you about pull-offs because that's what we're gonna be doing. Now let's talk about slides, right? Slides, we did slides in Stinkfist where we were going... Remember in Stinkfist, I was talking about there's different types of slides. There's the slide where you strike and slide, right? And then there's the type where you ring and slide. Well, that's what basically the entire intro and the chorus of Jimmy is. It's a strike and slide. The strike, it actually goes like this. You see? So all I'm doing is pulling off, strike, and then I slide into the next one. I pull off. Notice I'm only striking on the first hit. So the slides in this song are a little bit different. So you want to get used to that. You gotta like almost work the picking hand out of it. You naturally want to pick the note, but that's not the way it's played. And that's what makes it sound so loud and swelling, right? It's this. We'll get into the rhythm and what those notes are and how to do that later, but those are the types of slides that we're going to be doing. We're also going to be doing some tremolo picking. Tremolo picking, what that means is a quick rhythm and succession of picking where it sounds almost like if it was like a drum roll on a string and on a note, right? So this is an example of tremolo picking, right? So the best way to do that is not to really hold your pick perpendicular to the string. In other words, you don't want it to be a strike like this, where it's basically the pick flicking against the edge of the string. Instead, what you want to use is, this is the way I do it, and I realize it makes it smoother to play, and it also, I think it even sounds a little bit different because you're not hearing the impact of the pick on the string. What you actually want to do is, you see how the edge of the pick here is rolled? You actually want to roll the pick over the edge of the string, almost like if you were doing this to it, right? Not this. You don't want to be doing this. See how hard and impactful it is? Instead, you want to almost be like rolling it, like if you were doing this to the string. That's exactly what it's like. So when you do it that way, it's easier to move the pick up back and forth across the string. You're able to create some tremolo style picking. That's exactly what it is. There's a part in the song where they do this tremolo picking, and it's happening at about 2:43. At 2:43 in the song, it starts going. Right? Now, what I'm basically doing there is I'm tremoloing the open D string, and then I'm striking the higher octave. But you want to be palm muting. Remember palm muting from the last lesson? Palm muting, real quick, is when you hold the edge of the back of the palm of your hand against the bridge to thud the strings. Right? When you're tremolo picking, it sounds really cool, right? So what you want, you're basically striking the open, and then you're right. So that's basically tremolo picking. Adam Jones again uses tremolo picking all over the place, right? Right. This is from 46 and 2. So all he's doing there is he's just going D, F, E, E flat, and then he's pulling the. All I did there was go. But I'm going. Just changing it up. All I'm doing is just strumming the string really fast. So that's tremolo picking. The song also has got some bends and vibrato. And bends and vibrato are a little different than just standard bends. A standard bend would be something like. Right? These are the kind of bends that when I say bends, that's what I'm thinking of. Right? But when you start bending, releasing, staying on the note, and then giving it that little vibrato, that's what it's called, right? This part of the song where it goes. So you see what I'm doing there, where I'm vibrating the string. So it is a bend. It's actually a vibrato. So that's vibrato. All right. So that wraps up the topics that we're going to be going over in the song. Now we're going to use these skills that we just practiced here and learned, and we're going to use them in the song. So let's dive right into the song. Here comes Jimmy. We're going to go ahead and start here in the intro of the song. It starts off with the pull off, just that we were talking about earlier. Then we're going to slide down here to the F, pull off, G, pull off, E flat, C, but it slides in this pattern. Now, the next time we start, when the drums and the bass actually kick in, now it starts doing this extra thuds between the slides. So it sounds like this. Then it rolls into these single key notes. So here it's going to go A, C. The next one's A, D. Then it's going to go E flat, F, D. It's going to do it one more time. After it does this second, now we're going to slide down here to the second portion. It's the same notes that we're using here, which is the D, that octave of the D, the open D, the C. Then we're going to use the E flat, right? So, but the pattern goes like this. So it's going to go D, open D, D, C, open D, right, so right after that, at about 1:39 is the part when the lyric says 11, and then he pulls into this. Right? What he's doing there is he's basically pedaling between D, F, D, C, D. Now the pattern is so you saw how the third time played, it was one, it left the F out the second time. So you got to get that pattern in your head, and you just want to repeat that pattern. If you hear it enough with the song, or you try to play it along with the song, you're going to catch this pretty good. So this is happening at 1:39 in the song, and it sounds like this. It's D, F, D, C, D. So while you're doing that with the pedaling, you want to start with the palm muting, and then you want to peel your hand off a little bit so you can let it swell up. So it'll sound like this. So about the third time, you want to move out. We're going to come out of this C, D, F pedal pattern, and then we're going to jump right back into the intro. So it's going to go. Now here's where you start releasing. So now at 2:14, which is right after the first line here in the lyric is under a dead Ohio sky, right? So what he's going to break into here is he's going to do this extended D chord. So it's going to sound like this. This is the tension that it builds up, and then he resolves to C. Right? So that's tension and release, right? So you could hear it. Actually, it's almost like you could feel it if you're following along in the song. That part of the song, when that guitar is just screaming this. You can feel it building up the tension, then it goes. It just resolves right on C. It just feels like that's where it needed to land. All right, so here we are. We're making it now. We're past halfway through the song. So now we're going to move into this transition here that's going to get into the next part of the song. Basically, what we're going to do here is we're going to hit D. Then we're going to go to A, C, then B flat, A, G, release. So it's there's a little open strike there in the middle. I'll do it a little slower. So D, A, C, C, open. So that open is actually a pull off. If you watch, I'm going to zoom in on this part here so you could actually see it. So it's going to go. All right, then on that last bar of, we're actually going to hang on the C, and then we're going to do a slight bend, kind of like the tension and release idea, before we jump into the tremolo picking of the last part. So it's going to look like this. Okay, so we're going to do the standard D, A, C. Then the last one we're going to D, A, C, and then we hang and we bend it. We'll get into the tremolo part here in the next section. So when you hang on that C, let it ring out and then just slightly pull the strings down just to give it that bend. That's that tension and release. So we're going to pop here into the tremolo part of the pickings. Now, if you remember when we were doing the... All right, if we added tremolo to that exact same pattern, but without the vibrato at the end, it would look like this. All right, so after the... We're going to move back down here to this pedaling portion of D, F, D, C, D. We're going to do that 8 times. Then after we do that 8 times and then the bass kicks in to do its thing, we're going to do it kicking to the F, but to the lower F. So we're going to go, but we're going to actually give it a... Then we go back to this one. We're going to do that 8 more times, and we're going to go back to the low F. Then we're going to go back into the sliding pattern from the beginning of the song, except we're not going to do the... we're actually going to play it with chord strikes, where it's going to have a lot more hits to it. So at the outro of the song, we're going to use a totally different set of chords here. Here, the mood of the song actually changes a little bit. It dials down. And the chords that we're going to be using are D, A flat, F, G. Next round is D, A flat, F, B flat. Do it again. D, A flat, F, G, D, A flat. Now this one we're going to go D, A flat, F, E flat, D, A flat, F, E flat. Okay, so after this last run of the outro chords, we're going to slide up here to B flat, then to C, and we just let that E flat ring out. That's just the end of the song. But I just wanted to point out the third time we come around here, this little sharp stop before the C. You know, that's part of the song. It kind of like stands out a little bit. And we just let that ring out. And that's how we play Jimmy. We learned a bunch of stuff here today. We did tremolo picking, we did pull offs, we did some vibrato, and we also got to play a little bit with some timing, tension, and release. We talked about that too. Guys, so if you enjoyed that lesson, please keep coming back. Hit subscribe, hit like if you learned something or you like the content of this lesson. Tell a friend. Let me know what you might suggest as another song to do next. I really hope you enjoyed yourself and please keep coming back. Thanks.